All right, everybody, this is Charlene Burke with Grow Because You Know, doing a blab. Yes, a flash blab. We're going to do live training at 30 minutes. Q&A. You want to be the best host you can be? I'm here to help you do it. Let's answer your questions, give you some guidance, give you some recommendations. Take them or leave them. It's what I'm offering right now. Got open seats. Call it a hot seat. Call it a question seat. I don't care what you call it. I know it's open. So hey, you got a question? Come on in and let's keep it moving. Rules for the blab are simple. Let's keep it focused on being the best host you can be. Hello, Preston. So good to have you. Prop man. You know I love prop parties. So what can I do for you this morning?
No, obviously, I've been on your blabs, and I really appreciate your time. And you're a really good host. You are, because I was laughing a couple of times at what you did this morning. The guy, the person left, and you X'd them out, and then they were off topic, and you go no, and you cut it short. So it's like you are very in the face, but I think it's really good.
Oh, I don't like the in the face, but the point is, and this is where I'm coming from. Welcome, Pizza on the Cheap. What's your name, Pizza?
My name is Scott.
Hi, Scott. Welcome. Where I'm coming from is you have just entered my house. These are the rules. You're deviating from the rules. Just like anybody who has a house, you've really deviated. Time to see you go. That's the best way I can put it. So thank you for the props. Preston, did you have a question?
Yeah, well, obviously, Brad, I don't know where Brad is. He's supposed to be over here too. And anyways, he has created a show that I obviously am co-hosting with. Okay. Now I'm planning to do my own show, and obviously there's certain things that I need to learn that I don't know of. And so I'm trying to, what I'm seeing is that when I do a blab, not a lot of people come to mine. And the reason I think it is because, when you go to Blab IM, the ones that are actually ranked higher are those that have more people inside of them.
Okay.
I also notice, obviously, if you don't have a co-host with you, don't have 2 pitchers instead of 1, people don't usually come in. If you have 4 pitchers and 4 seats are open and people are in there, then, of course, it changes on Blab IM, and then more people come in. So obviously, it does grow. Well, the question is how do you gather people? Because right now I have 3 possibilities of a show. I don't know which one I want to do. So I reviewed it with one of my tech guys that actually is going to do the show with me. Good. So we're going to have a little bit bells and whistles, kind of like what you see here, but a little bit more professional.
Okay. So this is what I'm going to recommend you do. You pick one,
right,
and just do one for now, and have a distinct reason for being there. Stay on topic and promote it ahead of time. Share it on all of your social media websites, all of your ideas, but don't just share the link. Share why they should come. What are they going to get out of it when they come to your blab?
Got it.
And then, of course, while you're here, everybody tell a little bird. Yep. And that way it stretches the network. Be prepared to stay on the blab just a little bit longer than you may have originally planned, so that as you get going, you have more people coming in. Does that help?
It helps, absolutely.
All right. Thank you, Preston.
Thank you.
Hey, Charlene, thanks for giving me this opportunity to speak. Just a quick question here. Preston, I can see where I'm following him. There's that little follow icon.
Yes.
But you, I don't have that follow icon. But if I click on your name, I can see that I'm not following you. Is there a reason for that you don't have that icon anymore?
Honestly, I don't know. Maybe it's. I don't know.
You don't know?
Have an icon? No. I'll ask Blab Team. That's
so I don't.
I
don't even have an icon. Do I?
Yes.
I do have an icon.
Yes.
But you don't have an icon.
Well, I can't answer that question. I don't know. So to follow me, you can go to my profile.
Yeah, I can.
That. Of course, you can pull down the name and should be a follow beneath the name under Find Me on Twitter. And then you can be notified of any blabs that I schedule and that I host. Is that helpful?
Yeah. Okay. So I'm hosting a blab tonight on prostate cancer. Pretty depressing for some people. Maybe it's a little levity for others, but
it's your show, so
it's my show, right? I did it out of a request a doctor made who wanted to test the technology.
okay.
And September is the Prostate Cancer Awareness Month.
All right.
I was sort of amazed at the reaction when I was promoting this. This is the second prostate cancer blab, and
right.
I actually sat at a luncheon with the board of the Pennsylvania Coalition on Prostate Cancer, and I put this blab out. Everybody said, well, send us the link, and da-da-da-da-da. And these folks are about prostate cancer awareness, and nobody has the time.
Okay. So what's the question?
Well, what my question is that I'm looking for help to load up this room tonight for Dr. Brambot.
Okay.
I just don't.
So it's promotional issue.
Yeah, it's a promotional question.
Okay.
I want to get the result tonight for Dr. Bramhall. Let's get a lot of people in there tonight. And the only thing that I could figure out, we need to get Farrakhan into the seat.
So yes, a brand new blab. Yes, that would be helpful to have a well-known name. Be seated there to spread the word on their behalf to get their network in to fill the room. That would definitely be a positive. In addition, from this point forward, I'm going to recommend that you I'm sorry. Hi, Sabrina. I see a question over to the side.
You will not hurt me or anything.
Oh, no. I'm sorry. I was distracted, and that is not good for hosts. My apologies. So nurture a network that will support you, and that way that they will come on board and not necessarily fill a room, but where you won't be alone when you first begin. So I understand the hesitancy you have and the nervousness about not having a full room for the doctor. But to this point, you've spread the word, and you've let people know that this is happening. That's the best I can say. I mean, promotionally, unless you have an email newsletter or you have an email list, you're a part of groups in some capacity, you can drop the link in there, invite people. Again, as I said with Preston, make sure they understand the why they should come. That it's not just for you to be aware, that maybe they'll learn something, what it's about, make it attractive for those who aren't familiar with Blab. You have very little time right now, but what can help is when you have a recording of a Blab, take a piece of it and show it to people so they understand what it looks like. It's a new platform for many people.
Exactly. So one of the things that Dr. Brambald is has been on CNN, he's been on Fox, and he's also been a guest on Yahoo Health.
That's terrific.
And he has over 30,000 folks that are following him in Twitter. Mm-hmm. He's active in Facebook, and he's a big social media doc. And he's also.
So did he promote the show?
Yeah, he did, but there's like very little traction.
You don't know that. All right. So hold up, back up one step, Scott. You don't know that until you start the show.
That's true.
I'm assuming you're thinking I don't have many subscribers. It could be people don't understand what the subscribe is about.
Yeah.
So don't cut it off that I'm not getting much traction at all. You've spread the word. You've got the link out. Now when you host the show is when the magic happens.
Got it.
So, and on Twitter, don't worry about, you can it up to 5-6 times a day on Twitter. Don't do that on Facebook. Yeah, don't put it on Facebook like that, but like on Twitter. And then Facebook, you can get more personal. Like Michelle was saying, create that emotion. Find. I mean, you can even interview me if you want, because obviously my dad died of it. And am I concerned about it? Absolutely. Am I going to go to it? Absolutely. I'm basically canceling my appointment or trying to make sure my appointment doesn't go longer.
Okay, if you're canceling your urologist.
Hold up. I need to keep on track. I've got 30 minutes to go do some Q&A about how to be the best host that you can be. So
let's take it offline.
So I appreciate you, Charlene. Thanks
Scott, loved having you here. Loved having you here.
I'm going to open up the seat. The link for the prostate blab is over on the comments.
Yeah, go get it. Put it in the comment section here. Hello, Celebrate.
Hi, Miss Charlene. How are you?
I am well.
My name's Michelle.
Michelle, good to meet you. What can I do for you today?
My question is, this is my 3rd day on Blab, and I'm addicted like crazy. Love it.
Yeah, that'll happen.
It's an amazing platform. However, I was led here because I heard you were the queen. So I wanted to ask you what rules, and do you set your rules out for each and every Blab for your audience?
Yes.
Ahead of time?
So the important thing to know is that when you have a Blab, you have to be mindful of who's going to be coming into the room and set their expectations.
Right.
As you can see by the title, I said this is what we're going to talk about, what the Blab is about. I'm going to try to keep it to 30 minutes, and it's a Q&A format. When we started, and I started the recording, and I'm going to usually repeat this every 15 minutes, so I'm really close, is that we want to keep people moving through, doing a Q&A. You want to be the best host that you can be. What is it that you can do to make your audience feel like they're a part of the Blab? So staying on topic is very important. Telling them ahead of time what you want them to do is very important. That way, when somebody goes a little off topic or they get a little, which is very easy to do in a Blab, very easy. It is my responsibility as the host to get things back on track because of other people coming through. And it's not a surprise, just as with Scott. He was very gracious. He understood because he'd known ahead of time what the Blab was about. So my little reminder to him, or to Preston, or to you would be that let's get this back on topic. Please remember, this is a short time frame. Oh yeah, well, that's great. And he's an awesome guest. He handled it beautifully. But I had set that up ahead of time.
Okay.
So that when I have to say that, there's not a surprise.
Okay.
And usually if you have a scheduled Blab, you want to repeat that when possible.
Okay.
So because it is an open room,
right.
So people can come in and out, and there are going to be new faces that don't read the title, right. That don't understand what the expectations are. It's up to you to make sure they do. So another way is when you bring somebody in is to say, I knew you were new to the room. So let me do a quick review of what we're talking about to get you up to speed so that you can participate fully in the discussion.
Okay, that's wonderful. Thank you. One more question, and then I'll open the seat up for anyone else. Do you recommend 30-minute sessions? Anything less than, or does it depend on the topic? Is that
so I'm being challenged to do the 30-minute right now.
Okay.
I host a morning show. Okay. It's a morning program, and it goes an hour.
Okay.
The challenge, yes, laugh with me, Preston. The challenge on Blab is to keep it to 30 minutes.
Okay.
But it was a dual challenge. The first was it was presented to me as, Charlene, I think you can do it. Okay. So, the people who have been asking me to do this said, this is what we'd really like you to do. And they set up the parameters for me to work within. I said, okay, I can try 30 minutes.
Okay.
The second challenge, of course, is my own. Can I keep this in 30 minutes? Can I keep myself on track so that I keep the expectations of the audience in mind at all times? So that's one of the reasons this is 30 minutes. It is up to you how long you want your program to be. It's totally up to you. I don't think that it's what you can provide as the host. Can you do 3 hours? I don't know. If you think you can and do it well, then by all means do so. If you want to limit it to just 30 minutes because of the topic, by all means do so. I don't know how you can do a 15-minute Blab. We're already hitting the 15-minute mark, and we've accomplished a lot. I've met some terrific people, had great people, and met you and met Scott face to face. This is great. And then to close it off now, I don't know. You're welcome to try, but again, it's up to the individual host of what you want the show to be about and how much time you need to make sure that it happens.
And then just to piggyback off of that,
sure.
As far as it's a whole new platform, the dynamics are completely brand new. So I guess we're all really trying to figure it all out. It's actually incredibly exciting to watch it, to be honest with you.
Mm-hmm.
But would you say an hour, and it's just timing, 30 minutes, an hour, as long as there's value bringing to the audience, number one, but number two, from a marketing standpoint, do we need to keep it to where keep things fresh after an hour? Seems like would be really, things might get a little stale, or like you said, may go off topic. I think there's some probably concerning efforts if we keep it going further than an hour. I don't know enough about it. I'm just learning. But I think maybe 30 minutes to even 45 minutes, or maybe max an hour. And if your audience knows that ahead of time, then everything shuts down, right? You could start a beginning, a middle, and an end. Is that the key? Okay.
The key is the audience knows what to expect. Nobody's going to be surprised when I say at the 30-minute portion that it's time to shut down the recording. The program has ended. Nobody's going to be surprised. It's a part of the title, and I set it up at the beginning what the purpose of the program was. The program I run in the mornings is the same way. Everybody knows that at the top of the hour, the recording will stop. If we keep the room open for general discussion afterwards, that's determined at that time. I'm the host. I'm the one that determines that. But again, it is, I would recommend that you attend a couple of more formal blabs, not the general kind of where conversations can be and are encouraged to deviate from the title and they change the topic and have great conversations from that. But go to an actual program that's been scheduled for a while and see how they are handling keeping things on track, but also how much time are they allotting for the giving of the information and the value and responding to the audience needs.
Okay, that's awesome. I thank you so much for taking so much time.
Happy to do it.
I will be happy to check you out and continue, maybe catch your hour show. And I'm going to remove myself and open the seat to someone else.
Oh, it's a pleasure meeting you, Michelle. Thanks for coming.
Bye now.
Bye-bye. All right, the seat's open. Going to be here another 12 minutes. Anybody have a question or concern or information they'd like to share themselves and maybe get my view on it? Again, I was encouraged to do this by a group of people. Preston's back.
I'll come
Cannot
back.
keep Preston away. The wonderful, persistent Preston. Outstanding.
I'm stalking you.
I know better. I know better.
Anyways, no, but this show, you know, the three things I had, I think one of the main things I really want to point out, I believe, and I'm still going to talk it over with my technical guy, is if we do something about travel stories. I think stories is a big deal now, especially in marketing, especially in how people perceive things. Obviously, stories create emotion.
Stories always sell.
Right. So if I have travel stories, the end game, of course, is to have a lot of people coming in, but the end game is to attract those people that have contacts in, you know, the advertising agency, the PR firms, and the advertising marketing firms.
Well, so that goes back to the promotion.
Right.
In order for you to be the best host and for you to stay on topic, you're going to have the room of people that are interested in engaging with you. Because that's the point of Blab, right? It's to bring people in. It's to guide the conversation. It's to ultimately have an end goal in mind, either based on the topic that you have or on your end goal, which is to send people elsewhere, whatever that may be. So target the people you're inviting and make it attractive. Mm-hmm. So if you go with stories, then tell a tidbit of what they're going to hear. If you line up, honestly, I would line up 3 or 4 people to seed the audience as the beginning. and plan it out. Tell them, I'm really looking forward to having you come on and tell your story about what happened to you the last time you were in Cozumel.
Right.
Or what happened when you were in Puerto Rico. Or why you will not go back to Brazil. Whatever that story may be.
Right.
So there's a story, right? And that's what people are going to be attracted to, especially on this type of platform. But they're also going to want to respond to it.
Mm-hmm.
So think ahead of time. If you need to script it, then do that, where you can bullet point with the people that are going to share their story when you're going to step in. Here's the solution. Think about it ahead of time of how in general can this look so that I can keep things on track and guided in the right direction while still having people come through. Because honestly, the expectation of an audience member in Blab is to be able to come on to the seat, even if they don't click on the jump in, even if they don't click the purple button, the expectation is I can.
Mm-hmm.
So keeping that in mind.
Yeah. Well, I know, every time I talk to somebody in great detail about travel, everybody, I don't care who they are, remembers a travel experience. Whether it was from when they were young or when they're old, it doesn't matter. I mean,
So it's feasible that you could have that an open forum.
Right.
If you're ready to manage it, about tell your crazy travel story. I'll be on it. I'll tell you about, the title of mine is I was having fun until she stole my underwear.
She stole your underwear.
Not kidding. Be happy to join into that Blab. And so what'll happen is you'll get people talking about those experiences which aren't seemingly related at all to the destination.
Right.
But you bring it back to, the destination and how it could have been different, or, those are the fun things that happen along the ways of travel. You can bring it back. But as the host, that's going to be your job, is to make sure that, so you got somebody like me that comes on with the bad experience, could be bad, is to then balance it with somebody with a good experience. Because if you're not careful, now you're going to get into people wanting to share the worst of stories, which could defeat your purpose.
Right.
So there's the value of seeding the audience with people you're familiar with and with the stories they're going to tell. That way, if we've got a full room here, I can call somebody out. Right. You could be in the audience. I've got my full room and we're so veering off and say, hey, Preston, I hear, I saw earlier that you were interested in something somebody was saying. Why don't you come join us? It looks like we're going to have to empty a seat. Right. So-and-so, it was a pleasure having you with us. Come on in, Preston. And that way you're moving people through. But you have to be prepared for that as well, to the best of your ability.
Yeah. Well, and then the other question is that if we set a date, obviously you want to have it how far in advance? A week, 2 weeks, or it really doesn't matter? It just depends upon what your schedule is and how you would be promoting it to others.
If you're going to have additional promotions attached to the Blab, then that becomes a part of your marketing calendar.
Right.
If it's a Blab on its own, then the sooner the better in terms of am I going to have it within this week? If I can, I would do it. For instance, I've been asked for the past, I think it started last Thursday, Charlene, would you please do this Blab? Please do this Blab. Please do this Blab. So I came on Sunday and I got with the group. As you know, it was Christy Martin with Make Me a Harp. Mm-hmm. And I said, okay, so this is what's coming up. I need a little help titling it. You guys are saying you really want me to do this. And I'm not sure how it's going to look. They're the ones that said, ultimately the room said, Charlene, we would love to see you do it this way. Okay, I'll do it. So then I thought, if I wait a week and a half, and I've already talked to some people about it, I might lose interest, and I might lose interest myself. Something else might come up. So what's the soonest I can get this on the calendar and done to see if it's something feasible I should continue to do, but works within my calendar? Right. I recommend to you, because I don't think you have a full content or marketing plan around the Blab right now. Am I right?
Not right now. We're just kind of Throwing ideas out. Yeah.
Then select one idea. I love the story idea. I love that because of the way Blab is set up. I think it'll work well. Schedule it for this week or this weekend, and then start getting the word out because you're already talking about it. People in the room have already heard about it.
Right.
You can start talking about it when it's appropriate in other Blabs, and you can start spreading the word that this is what's going to happen, and it's going to be a lot of fun, and find the people to seed your audience with.
Yeah. That's the most important. Okay, cool. Thank you.
You're welcome.
See you
Glad I
again.
could help. Good to see you again. I have time. We're down to our last 5 minutes in the 30-minute. You be the best host that you can be. Here she is, my lovely Ha. So good to see you.
Good morning again. So here is my questions. I know that you host the show with such a flair and etiquette. So can you talk about the etiquette of, as a person, for me, that I often jump on your show. Now, can I not promote, but I said, come and check us out. Charlene and I, we have the Blab on Wednesday at every 11:30. Is that can I mention that, or that is taboo?
The etiquette of coming on to somebody else's Blab?
Yeah.
Wait until you're invited to do that, because it can be viewed as so off topic that it's inappropriate. It's distracting to those in the room. But if it's appropriate, then by all means, share it. So what can happen is during the conversation, the host or somebody in the room in the live stream may say, well, don't you have a regularly scheduled Blab yourself? Perfect segue into saying, actually, yes, I do. It airs on Wednesdays at 11:30. By the way, Charlene, because I'm the host, would you mind if I posted a link? Or not even that. Again, it depends on the tone of the room that's set by the host. In general, I'm not a big fan of just jumping on to do that, because that's a blabjack. That is completely diverting the conversation. But if it's a part of, then yes. If you're asked to promote it, if you're asked, I think it's great when the host says, if you've got one coming up, let us know about it. Which, by the way, Han, I know you and Sabrina do this on Wednesdays at 11:30. So when you go back to your profile, I want you to put the link there in the comment section so people can find you and subscribe through that link, but also people can do it through your profile. This is the place to do it. It's appropriate.
Oh, thank you very much. Because, out of respect for you or any other host, I thought that, when I come, I have to, one thing you said, it well said, and I love it when you said that you come to my house. And, as much as you are so grateful, a grateful host, and as a person, I would like to be invited back. So I have to respect,
That's it. That is the other thing, too. I'll tell you that the responsibility as the host is to keep track of those that you do want to come back in and that you would prefer not to come back in. I have a rule of 2. Essentially, I give you two chances. The first chance, unless you've totally destroyed it with your behavior, and that's only happened twice. If you've totally destroyed it, I'm not going to let you back in. I know your ID. If it's simply because you weren't sure, you didn't understand, you didn't really mean to be disrespectful, then, and I get that, and as I'm meeting people, I'll let you on again and I'll try to gently guide you back to what we're talking about. But honestly, 2 times you've disrupted my house, 2 times you've diverted the attention too much, then you're welcome to be in the chat area, but it's going to be a while before I let you back into the room. Yeah, but again, it's being mindful of your audience.
Yeah, and again, I watching your show, and I model my show based on your etiquettes, because
Thank
you
you.
certainly make the attendees feel very welcome. They certainly feel loved, and you address them in such a respectful way. And would like to do exactly that. I
Thank
won't
you.
do anything different than that. To feel people
Well,
welcome and then
can
respectful.
I admit that that's one of the reasons I'm not quite liking this 30-minute right now, is because I haven't had that opportunity to do that on this blab.
Mm-hmm.
Normally, as Haas says, I would be calling every one of you out saying, thank you, Michelle, for being here. Robin, so good to see you. Karen, some type of Aussie has joined us. Edward, Kim, it's so good to see you here. Chris, I'm going to do this now. I've got DJ Sherry in the house. That was awesome. Calvin, Sean, it's fantastic to see you again. So glad you're here. Bill Rowe, you were with us earlier this morning. Good to see you as well. Arian, Sabrina, you were here and have gone. Then we have Michelle, Mike, Montina. See, this is what I try to do throughout the morning program. And that's partly because I want to welcome you to my house. This is a little different, but I managed to squeeze it in. We're at the 30-minute mark, but I started a few minutes, so I'm going to give it another 3 minutes. How's that? Thank you for that reminder, Ha. Thank you. So, empty seat. Anybody got a question about being the best host you can be? A question of what you should or shouldn't do? How you want to run things? Oh, you're going to leave us? Okay, Ha. I've got, we've got about 3 minutes left. Anybody else want to run a question by me about how to be the best host you can be running your own blab? I can offer this, having done a morning program every weekday at 8 o'clock, that consistency matters. It's consistency of you show up, you have set the expectation with your audience, and you need to meet that expectation. Any host should have that in mind, that especially of a regularly scheduled blab. And it doesn't matter if it's a general conversation, if it's a let's get goofy, you set the expectation, we're going to get goofy. So therefore, don't be surprised people get goofy, right? Again, it's if you go in with the mindset that says, I am here at my house, I'm at my coffee table, I'm inviting you to join me, and this is what I would like us to focus on, then you are able to stay on track and to offer the best value as a host. There's other things. We can go into scripting. When I did a podcast with a partner for about a year, do the same thing here on Blab, is to have a script to go by to be sure that everything is covered that you wanted covered in your program. So again, I've got 1 more minute. Anybody wants to jump on with a question? I encourage you to follow Ha, to check out her program, Keeping You on Track in Life and Business. She is a coach and she's outstanding. It's always a pleasure to have her with us. Welcome to everybody that's just come in the room. Anthony and Mario and my biz marketer. I would call you by name, but I don't know it. Good to have you with us. Again, we're winding down. The 30 minutes is just about up. I will be shutting down the recording, and based on the response at this point, I'll be doing another program like this. It was a challenge to do it in 30 minutes. I think it went well. For right now, I think I'll keep it at the 30-minute mark and say goodbye to everybody. I want to thank you all for coming on. Preston and Ha, Michelle and Scott, thank you so much for coming through the hot seats, if you will, the open seats, and sharing the 30 minutes with me. And just want to say this is Charlene Burke with Grow Because You Know, talking to you about being the best host that you can be when you host your own blab. So until next time, be mindful that you set the rules and you set the expectations, and the audience appreciates you for it. So